Hi, friends. I hope that you are well today. Back at St. John's Church, and today I brought with me a children's Bible. This is not the Bible from when I was a kid, but when I was a kid, my mom used to read from the children's Bible to us all the time, and I loved those stories. We would sit kind of gathered by her side, maybe with a little special snack, and she would tell us these stories that were exotic and distant, and yet somehow through those stories, even when I was little, I knew God was calling me somewhere. This Bible is the one that I used to like to read to the day school kids when I worked there. I really loved it because the stories are told beautifully, but also the pictures are really gorgeous. I have a picture here of Joseph. I want to share it with you. Can see how the stories and the pictures really come together. But the story I wanted to share with you was Jacob's wrestling match. It's a story that's always spoken to me. Night fell, and Jacob was alone with his thoughts. He was terrified. What would his brother Esau do to him? Just as an aside, his brother Esau has caught up with him, and Jacob doesn't know what's going to happen. He shivered in darkness. But then something extraordinary and mysterious happened, something that changed Jacob forever. In the darkness, a man came up to him. Jacob could not see who it was. Suddenly, the man seized Jacob and began to fight with him. Jacob defended himself. He twisted and fought and struggled with all his might, and the two men fell into the ground, writhing and wrestling. They battled for hours, until the sun began to peer over the horizon and a ray of light shone on the stranger's face. Then Jacob was filled with the deepest fear, because there was something about this enemy, a brightness, something different, a mysterious, wonderful power. At that moment, the stranger struck Jacob on the hip and put out his hip joint. Jacob cried out and staggered back, but he would not let go of the man, and he would not admit defeat. He held on to him. He fought. He carried on, struggling, locked in combat. "Let me go now," said the stranger. "The day is breaking." "No," said Jacob, "never, not until you bless me." He sensed that this opponent was no ordinary human being. "Tell me your name," said the man. "Jacob," he replied. "No," said the stranger softly. "You will not be Jacob any longer. From now on, you will be Israel, because you have struggled with God and with men, and you have won." Jacob was wounded and limping, but he still would not let go of the man. "Now you must tell me your name," he replied. "Why do you ask my name?" said the man, and the way he spoke made Jacob tremble with fear. Then the man blessed Jacob and turned from him, and in one moment he was gone. The light shone around Jacob as dawn came up, and he stood there unsteadily, feeling the pain in his hip. He was gazing into the light, but he could see no one at all. Only brightness. "I have seen God face to face," he said. "And yet, I am still alive." Picture of Jacob wrestling with the man. I hope you all have a good